Hi everyone, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us for today's Q&A on September 23rd, 2012, 5 p.m. Pacific, where we discuss and take questions about the U.S. immigration process live on TikTok and live on YouTube, as well as a recording on YouTube where many of you are watching this. If you haven't already, please click live, subscribe, and ring that bell to get the latest updates and videos. There's daily videos posted on our JQK Law YouTube page, as well as on our Instagram page for JK Law, where we have a lot of clips and information updates about the U.S. immigration process. So we're about to jump into it right now as people are coming in. Drew, hi, it's good to see you there. And we got these questions about to pop out. So with that, let's get it started. All right, wonderful. Thank you for joining us today. You know, the big news, hi Karine, that's been popping up that happened is the public charge rule form I-944 is definitely, again, required. They did give some flexibility that the form does not have to be submitted until October 13th. If you're submitting a case right now, what they'll do is if you don't submit it right between now and October 13th as part of your case, then they're just going to send you a letter to Senate to advise you some time to prepare the application. The main important thing for this is there's going to be fee increases on October 2nd. And because of that, you don't want to wait, if you can't get your I-944 paperwork together in time, you might as well submit the case without it now and then, submit the I-944 public charge paperwork later, but avoid that increase in filing fees that's popping up on October 2nd. So that's something important to be aware of. There's just every day I get emails from USCIS, from the immigration courts with changes that are happening and rules that are changing. So it's hard to go over it. For example, for asylum, if you need to use an interpreter for many languages, USCIS is temporarily going to make it so that you could only use one of their interpreters and not bring your own. They say it's because of COVID-19 and for safety and stuff like that. But the worry is, well, how good is the translator that's there? How do you know they're going to do a good job and make sure they say the right thing? So it's really problematic, all these things that are happening. So let's jump into your questions. Daryl says, you're a major help. Thank you, Daryl. Ascot, good to see you. Nick asks, is it helpful when you call USCIS about your case if there is no updates? And can EAD be approved without the completed medical exam? If there's no updates on your case, no, it's not helpful for you to call USCIS. General, it's not helpful. In 99 out of 10 times, it's not helpful to call USCIS at all. If anything, they're probably going to give you bad information, so it's going to hurt your case. You should consult with an attorney to see what's going on with your case. But sometimes if it's going really long, there's some mistakes and stuff. Yeah, it is helpful, but it's rare. It's rare when you calling USCIS is going to be helpful unless there's a specific thing you're looking to get. That's been a problem. And can you get the EAD approved without the medical exam? Yeah, that's the medical exam is unrelated to the employment authorization document. TikTok, Linux asks, thank you, Daniela. What is the prediction for EB2 India moving for October? There's no predictions. Just wait a couple more days and you'll get the answer for that. Don't go into predictions and stuff. There's no value in that. It's like me guessing who's going to win the lottery tomorrow. It's like, Daniel asks, can a citizen apply for their non-citizen mom still? Yes, it depends. You could apply. You could start the process for applying for your mom. Whether your mom could get it or not goes back to her own immigration status and background stuff and finances. So you can start the process, but we need to know what the situation is, the context around your family relationship. Do you have your birth certificate? Does she ever had immigration violations, criminal history? There's a lot that we need to look into to be able to properly answer that question. But if you're saying just applying, yeah, you can start the application, but I'm not sure it's going to go anywhere. Samara asks, thank you, John, for giving us some of your time. I appreciate that, Samara. It's very nice of you. I appreciate it. Thank you. On YouTube, Karine says, so much madness, shake my head. I agree. Askar says, can we come to the U.S. on a B1, B2 visa with the family at JFK Airport? Well, people can't come on B1, B2 tourist visas to the JFK Airport if they don't have a travel ban against them or have other, inadmissibility issues. So generally people can, but if you're flying in from France just for vacation, no. But if you're flying in from Morocco, yes. And so you got to see if a travel ban applies to you or you hit one of the travel bans on your way to the United States. So it's not easy to answer your question. I need to know more exact details of your travel, all that kind of stuff. Danielle follows up, can we get my mom a visa first and apply in the United States? I'm the one with citizenship and her not. So it's not legal to apply for a tourist visa for the intent and purpose to enter the United States to apply for a green card. If your mom gets a tourist visa and it's approved and she enters here, and after being here, she changes her mind and decides to stay here as possible, but I can't say, get your mom a visa to try to bypass the consular processing embassy system. That's not legal. It's not the kind of advice I'm allowed to give, or it's appropriate. But that's the answer to that. All right, let's go back to YouTube. I think there was a chat I missed over there. Okay, Vanessa asks, how can prove I changed my name in the naturalization without the paper that they gave me? You can't. You need to request that paperwork and get it, or else you don't have the name change documentation. It's very important paperwork. You should have kept and had a copy of as well. Elisa asks, hi, any update for F-21 visas? I'm currently here in the Philippines. Well, the visa bulletin has not been posted yet, but wait for it. Daniel says, thank you, you're welcome. Asghar follows up, we'll be flying from the UAE. Again, Asghar, I need no more information. It's just more. So for case-specific guidance, please consult with my office and schedule a consultation. In general, the information here is based on general education kind of stuff. It's not case-specific, so I can't go and advise someone what to do on their case, and that would be what I'm doing there if I answer your question further. Karen asks, can you fly to a different state if you're waiting and your adjustment of status to be approved? Travel within the United States is permitted if you have an adjustment of status case. If you've been out of status or have some sort of immigration violations that can make you go to immigration court, if for some reason, it's very rare, but you run into an immigration officer, enforcement officer, they could pick you up. They have the full right to do that. So the risks you want to take on, and the risks aren't big, but the risks you take on are your own. And so that's that. Scorpio asks, are they sending out appointments for spouses interviews in New York? I don't know. I don't know. Alex asks, can I travel in and out of the country while on a probation for DUI? I need to know more information, Alex, about your situation and what happened. I can't give case-specific information. Daryl asks, when I got married, my wife has a daughter, so while filing for the I-130, should I put her as a stepdaughter, or is that not allowed until I actually adopt her? Well, a stepdaughter relationship is different from an adopted relationship. So she is your stepdaughter, has nothing to do with adoption. And so she should be listed as one of your stepchildren on all the paperwork, and that's that. Alex says, I already answered that question. Mohan asks, I got an email from a lawyer saying the visa bulletin may move to 2020. Be ready, I'm EB2. Yeah, there's a good chance the visa bulletin is going to jump a lot in the coming days when we actually comes out. It hasn't come out yet, at least in the last couple of hours that I checked. So there should be some movement. I don't know how long it's going to go. I don't like to guess on things. That's I don't want to get subscribers, a lot of views by just guessing at stuff and getting clickbait. So I just say wait for the actual thing to come up and you'll know. Mohan follows up. Oh yeah, I answered that question, repeated it. All right, let's go to YouTube. Okay, Daryl, I responded to that. Vanessa follows up. Where I go for information for permit work for students in your website or YouTube, you got to contact the lawyer. I mean, I'm actually doing a seminar. Go to my YouTube page, or on YouTube, go to the community tab. I should have the link for a seminar, a live seminar I'm giving Friday. I think it's at 2:30 p.m. Pacific time. I can't remember, but check out that flyer. Note that the registration, I think in the description, I give the correct URL for it, the email, the website address, because on the picture, it doesn't have the best version of it. And I'm having a full discussion about the student visa process, F1 student visas and work and all that. So that's going to be probably the best place you can find any information on that in that session I'm having with another lawyer, and then schedule a consultation with the attorney, but also talk with your school. So if you're on a student visa, your school is the person you need to communicate with anyways, because they have to approve things. So you should contact them and work with them. BM asks, John Arahanjo asks, how long do typical 245I adjustments takes? There are no typical cases, so we can't realistically quote time on cases. It's different for every time. BM asks, just passed by to show some support, great content. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. BM, it's very nice of you. Nick asks, do you think in today's age and time with all the technology, we have processing times that should be much faster? It shouldn't be through mail. Do you think it's going to change in the future? Well, they're trying to make it online, but you got to understand a lot of the problems in the bureaucracy of the immigration system are intentional. So the reason why it takes this long, the reason why there's so many mistakes, all this stuff is intentional to make these things harder, and they spent billions and billions with a B dollars on making it online. It hasn't worked. So there's a lot of incompetence cooked in that cake too. So it is what it is, Daniel asks, if we don't reach 250% of public charge form, will it be denied? Well, for the I-944 public charge, that is what they want. Whether it'll be denied or not, we don't know. We got to see how they're going to do it, because they're supposed to look at a totality of the circumstances. They're going to look at your educational background. They're going to look at your family members' income, how well your English is, what kind of jobs you have, all that kind of stuff to make a determination. So realistically, what it's going to be, I don't know. We haven't had any real adjudications of these to know for sure how strict they're going to be on that. You're welcome, Kareem. John follows up, can I pass public charge tests with just having plenty of money and health insurance? Again, as I just explained, it's a totality of the circumstances situation. So we have to see what the whole situation is and see how it looks, and then it's up to an officer to make a determination. So a lot of it is out of our hands, and we don't have any examples of how this has been judged in the past. So we don't really know. Nobody knows exactly how strict they're going to be or not going to be, and what lawsuits are going to be popping up anyway. Mika on TikTok asks, I have a green card holder. I filed the I-131 3 years ago and was approved. Can I file again for I-130? Your question, Mika, doesn't make sense. So you filed an I-131. That's for a reentry permit because you have a green card, or a refugee travel document. I'm not sure which one you filed for. And then you're saying you want to file again for an I-130, which is a petition for alien relative. So the parts of the question, the key words you're saying don't mesh together. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. All right, Gashado asks, is I-944 required as of now, or is it still suspended? Well, I already talked about this. The short of it is required, but you don't have to submit it with your application until October 13th. If you don't submit it with your application, then they'll send you a letter to submit it later, but it is going to be required on most cases. Let's see. Alicia asks, who are qualified for the waived interview? It just depends on who they want. Usually it's people that are asylum cases that are applying for adjustment of status, parents of U.S. citizens, and maybe minors of U.S. citizens, some employment-based categories. But at the end of the day, it's up to what they want to do. Gashad follows up, filing for adjustment of status tomorrow. Should I send I-944 too? Well, I don't know your case. It's up to you if you want to submit it. If you have a good I-944 case, you have the paperwork ready and nothing missing, maybe you should. But I don't know. Without knowing the specifics of your package and reviewing it, I can't tell you what to do. That's up to you. You should just contact the immigration attorney. Mika follows up, style I-131. Well, Mika, so you filed for an I-131 before, you want to do a new one. I don't know. I don't know your travel history, your case history, your absences from the United States, where you are right now. There's just too much I need to know to be able to advise you on something like that. So schedule a consultation in my office so I could properly, review the case and answer that. I don't have an answer without knowing all the facts. Schwartzman asks, is it okay if you never file taxes during the 5-year green card, knowing that the annual income is below $12,000? Is it okay? Well, and you need to talk with an accountant, if your income was not enough, it was under the requirements of the IRS to file for taxes, and you don't have any other requirement to file taxes for other reasons, and I don't want to go into what the other reasons are, then you need to explain that and say, I didn't file taxes, but I didn't need to because I didn't make enough income, and have maybe a printout of the IRS requirements for every year of the last 5 years to show that your income was below those levels. Yeah, you got to do some extra work to make sure it's clear. But if it's correct, if you did your taxes correctly, then it's correct. It is what it is. Ronnie asks, hello, thanks for live Q&A. You're welcome, Ronnie. I really appreciate that. Thank you. John asks, attorney, how successful are FOIA requests? I submitted mine to get a copy of my old petition on my father's behalf last June. I mean, how successful they happen over time. You file in June, July, September, October, you probably get it soon. Log on to the online site, register your FOIA case with the online site if it's with USCIS, and it'll give you a general time frame of how long things are going. Plus, they'll email it to you, or you could download it later from them instead of having to get a CD in the mail, so I might save some time. Nick says, you legend, man. Thank you, Nick. I hope your channel takes off. Thank you. We appreciate your answers, our questions for free, and the work you put in. Some people pay $350 and more to get the same answers you provide. Well, thank you so much. And so a lot of people watch this and then email me privately to ask their questions. That's why we're here for. Do it here, because I do have a consultation fee, because during the regular hours, if you can tell how tired I've been in the last couple of videos, it's because I'm swamped with work. So I want to have this time here so you ask your questions. But if you do reach out to me privately, we have to set up a consultation because I get a lot of requests, and it's just not possible for me to answer everybody except having a form and just going through it like this. But I appreciate it. It's very nice of you, Nick. Ronnie asks, I filed the I-485 June 2020 and biometrics in August 2020. When do you think I will get a green card application approved for a wage worker? I don't know. Whenever you get around to it. There's no answers to things. Kara asks, what about marriage interview? What about it? Alex asks, can I file for a citizenship with a DUI that is 5 years old and have off probation? You could, I don't know. I can't, maybe. That's too case specific. I can't answer that. I need to know more about your background, what you did, all that kind of stuff. Okay, we got a deleted message retracted. Can't remember what your question was, but yeah. So a lot of these questions, you know, the reason why I can't answer them is because I need to know a lot of information. So with regards to DUI, until I know the person and their background situation and what went around the DUI, when it was, all this kind of stuff, I'm cautious to give information and say just go ahead and do something because it might be very dangerous. You might lose your green card. Now the risk of that is very low. But again, this is just general education. This is not meant to be private consultation to tell you what you need to do. And as for that, I need to know and review your DUI paperwork, the court paperwork, what happened exactly. I need to know your moral character. That's what they're going to judge. So I need to see who you are, what you've been doing in life, and what the reason why the DUI happened. We got to analyze all this stuff, along with all the other stuff that's required for citizenship. That's even if you didn't have a DUI. Will be something to review. And you got to remember, at the end of the day, good moral character, which is the standard for citizenship, is in the eyes of the officer. They have full discretion to deny a case. And that's they've gotten stricter on DUIs under this current administration, under President Trump's administration. So, you know, even if you file it, at the end of the day, whether a case is going to be approved is not up to me. It's not up to you. It's up to some officer that in some future date is going to look at your case. And so you got to take some risks with that. Pano asks, what is the changes your I-751 waiver? What are the chances your I-751 waiver can be denied even though you submit plenty of evidence? It's not possible. That question is not possible to answer. What are the chances? I don't know. 50-50. It may happen or may not. Just a question, you know, it's not possible to answer that question. P.S. asks, my case at the U.S. Embassy now since March 2019. My spouse is a U.S. citizen. Does public charge rule apply to me because I'm 30 submitted? Yes, public charge rule does apply to you because you haven't had your interview yet. Now, the embassies have not yet been fully enforcing this new public charge rule. We don't know if they are. There is an injunction against it for the embassies still. I haven't heard that injunction being lifted particularly. Yeah, it sucks it's been that long. It's more than a year and a half. There's something, if your case has been with the embassy for that long, there's some serious issues. You need to consult with an immigration attorney to potentially file a lawsuit, because if your case with the embassy for a year and a half, I mean, COVID started a year after your case went to the embassy. So that part, I don't know what's going on. So you should consult an immigration attorney in private. That doesn't make sense. All right, so people keep retracting their answers. You don't have to retract, it wasn't bad. Daryl asks, what happens when you travel to the U.S. with a B1B2 visa filed for asylum, got married, now filed for... That doesn't make any sense. So you visa filed for asylum. Okay, so you came on a tourist visa, you filed for asylum, and now you're married and you filed for I-485. Your question is, what happens? Well, you go through the paperwork. It's not a question I answer here. It's something we got to sit and talk about. There's no real question in there. What happens is things happen. I don't know. We got to sit and talk about it. It's not something I can just answer like that. Alex asks, I have been in the USA for 25 years with a few DUIs that are 10 and 20 years old. Thank you. That's not good. I don't know what to tell you. Consult an attorney in private. Kara says, I'm waiting for my marriage green card interview. What process right now? Process that you wait, and then whenever they call you, they call you. All right, let's go back to the YouTube. I think I saw a question in there. Attorney, will you be able to get clients inside USCIS for interview when real ID requirements happen? It's not, I can't sneak people in. You have to have real ID. So you could use your passport. Most people have passports as real ID, or if they have a driver's license. And there's some other forms of ID as well. They should look that up. But most people could get a passport from their home country embassy. So they just request that have that, because international passports from any country count as real IDs. I can't sneak someone in. It's just like this, the security out the front of the gate's not going to let me. And it's the way it is. Even though I have to bring some sort of ID. Either my driver's license, that's real ID equivalent, or my passport. And I already got my real ID for my driver's license. All right, so thank you all for joining us. Some good questions, and especially the people on YouTube. I'm gonna, I'm cutting out for people on TikTok to know. So I'm just gonna stop doing the Tuesday, Thursday live as well. I'll do one tomorrow, last live on Thursdays, and just stick with doing the Q&A live on Wednesdays live on TikTok, YouTube, and maybe get Instagram in on that. I'm not sure. And then spend the rest of the days doing a lot of written material and video material that's focused on a certain subject. and just leave the Q&A open here. Might go over half an hour on those kind of days if the questions are coming, but just to give you a heads up on what's going on in the future. Hinak asks, I have a 2-year green card. When I apply to remove conditions 90 days before, if current green card expired, can I still WR? Hinak, I'm not sure what your question is. So just file the renewal, that's it. John follows up, thank you, attorney. You're welcome, John. I hope things go well, and you don't have any issues with going to the office. Hinak, can I still go to work? Yeah. So when you have it's a question that pops up a lot. When you have a 2-year green card and you have to file, it's called a conditional green card, usually based on if you got your green card through marriage. After 2 years, you have to file for removal of conditions from I-751. Now, during that period of time, that initial green card expires because it was only valid for 2 years. So what do? Well, this is for work or for travel and stuff like that. Once you submit the form I-751 removal of conditions within 90 days before the expiration of that initial green card, you'll get a receipt in the mail that acts as an extension of your green card for 18 months. So you could use that paper along with the expired green card to travel internationally as proof that you are a resident of the United States, as well as for work authorization if you find a new job and they want to check your work papers. Now, if you already have an existing job, they usually don't ask for anything new, but you could show that receipt that comes with it as proof that you are still a resident, everything like that. The problem that pops up, and I get a lot of questions about this a lot, is after the 18 months, if the case is still pending, which most cases are, what do you do? Because that paper, the extension paper, expires. What do you do then? Well, you can still go to work. You're still considered in valid status for that to go to work. But if you really need proof, like you find a new job and they ask for it, or you need to do international travel, what you have to do is contact USCIS by phone and schedule an InfoPass appointment. An InfoPass appointment is going to the local office to be able to get a stamp in your passport at 3, 6, 9 months, however much they want to give you time, that says you're a green card holder, and you could use that stamp that's in your passport as a green card when you're traveling. Now, getting an InfoPass appointment is hard. USCIS is doing everything they can to stop you from, for one, being able to get a hold of an officer, and two, to get an appointment. It's very hard, annoying, and time-consuming, but that's what you have to do to once the extension expires if you need proof of your existing residency, and they can do that for you. All right, Mohsen asks, my citizenship got denied a long time ago because of my dad had issue with green card. Can I still apply to get citizenship? Mohsen, that's a complicated question. I mean, it's kind of like saying, my stomach hurts. Am I dying? I'm like, I don't know. I have to check it out. Your dad had problems. I don't know. I got to see that's a serious issue that could happen. Maybe because if your dad loses his green card and you had got your green card through him, maybe you got a court hearing to lose your green card. You didn't know about it. So you really need to schedule a consultation with an attorney in private, Mohsen, and look at that. This is not something I can answer here. Sweetheart asks, I filed for I-485 as a green card application in August. I received receipts, but not yet received fingerprinting appointment. Please let me know if there's a delay. Yeah, there's a delay, so you gotta wait. Nick says, do you have any experience with turning out the decision after the denial of adjustment of status application? How hard will it be? Well, Nick, when you say experience, there's 1,000,001 reasons it could happen. Yes, I've overturned denied adjustment applications, either through directly contacting the office, a motion service to reopen, contacting USCIS by phone, contacting a congressperson, ombudsman. I've done it all. But it really depends on, or even a I-290 or whatever kind of motion we need to do based on what it is. But it really depends on the case and what the reason for the denial was. And so that basic information is not really helpful for an immigration to advise you. It's really talking about very superficial stuff and just say it was denied. Have you done it? Yeah, but let's see why the reason is. Abio says, sir, I'm over 1 year. Can I file for asylum? Again, this is like the other questions. I don't know, because it depends on what the reason is that you waited for more than a year to file for asylum. If you have a good reason, yeah, maybe you can. If not, then you're screwed. He next says, thank you, really appreciate your advice. You're welcome. Kizubi asks, I filed for a C08 I-765. That's a work permit based on asylum pending or asylum case, and got the mail back saying no fee. So I mailed again with $85 check. Hope that works. I'm not sure. I have to see what's going on. I don't file asylum cases, so I don't typically deal with that. Thank you, Tad. Appreciate that. EB2 become current. I don't know. They have not released the new visa bulletin yet to see what's current and what's not right now. So yeah, so just how hard this stuff could be or what's out on, we need to know more information. It's all different. PS asks, New York statute of health says state funded as Medicaid does not consider as public charge. Is it true? I don't know. I don't know the exact facts of the New York states, where they get their money and what they do. It could be used against you potentially. So I need to review that facts of that specific statute and the paperwork and all that kind of stuff, and what you said when you applied for it, all that stuff. Divine says, I received an economic impact payment debit card in May. My I-148 is on a review pending. I wonder if that's okay for me to use the debit card. I don't know. I'll have to see why that happened. I'm not a specialist on this kind of stuff about economic impact cards and what those, like, what basis those are on. If it was for, I have to see exactly what happened and what the basis of getting that money is and who gave it and what you had told them before you got it. So there's a lot of analysis I have to do. I don't want to just answer that stuff without knowing all the facts. So we only got a few more minutes left. If you have one or two last questions, let me know, and we'll end it for the day. We'll be back tomorrow on TikTok, Immigration Lawyer John, and on Instagram, JK Law Firm. But after that, next week, we're just going to have Wednesdays here live on YouTube, on TikTok, and on Instagram probably. But the recording is always going to be available. We always record this and take the clips out and a bunch of other material on the YouTube video, so on the YouTube channel. So I really recommend going on YouTube, looking up JQK Law Firm, and subscribing there. You're going to get a lot of great information there. Sidhar says, thank you for all the info. You're welcome. I appreciate that, Sidhar. Thank you very much. All right, so I think we're almost done for today. Akash asks, are you making live every day this week? No, Akash has stopped doing lives every day. For now on, I'm only going to do it once a day on the weekends. And so try to tune in 5 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesdays and try to get your question in there. If it's something I can answer, I'll definitely help you out. If not, then you have to schedule a consultation. Divine asks, what is the wait time for these days for I-485? My I-140 is approved as NIW. Go to USCIS.gov. Each field office has different wait times, and each case has different wait times. So it's something you need to consult with immigration lawyer. But first of all, just go to USCIS.gov and check it out there. That's the place to go to get answers for that. It's not going to be a reliable answer. I'll tell you that beforehand because there is no answer to your question. But if you want some sort of source, that's it. You're welcome, Akash. Thank you so much. PS says, can we show as income from unemployment insurance? No. I'm assuming you're talking about the affidavit of support. When you're going to show financial documents for an affidavit of support from IA-64, you have to show continued income. Unemployment income has an end date to it, so that's not something you use. It's usually just work income that you're getting. That's what you should use for the affidavit of support. If you're talking about the I-944, you might have to just mention it that there was income, but it's not kind of income that's going to help your case. Best thing to do is try to find a job have income to avoid that. Depending on what reference you have for asking that question, whether it's public charge or whether it's I-944 or it's I-864. So I guess like all these questions, I need to know more information to see where you're coming from. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining us again today. And with that, okay, I checked the site, but I thought I'd ask you to get some access. You got it, Divine, no problem. All right, everyone, thanks so much. So again, be safe. I forgot to tell you, but if you have a marriage, you're welcome. You have a marriage or fiance case, you're trying to get information about that, the best place to go to is www.marriageimmigrationlaw.com and download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook. Get some really good information about the process. I think it'll help you out a lot. Until then, God bless. Be safe. We'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.